Their stories are some of the most tragic that you could ever listen to. And today, a few incredibly brave women shared their stories with local prosecutors in Virginia.
The women are survivors of domestic abuse and assault. They want prosecutors to understand how the criminal justice system has failed them and how to be better.
Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder was in the room. He shares how these survivors are fighting to protect others.
I don't think in my situation justice happened because, yes, he was incarcerated after the fact.
Their stories are heartbreaking and incredibly personal, but tragically, they're all too common. Brave survivors of domestic assault and abuse led a roundtable discussion with local prosecutors to explain how the criminal justice system failed them, not for the purpose of pointing fingers, but as a means of locking arms and moving forward together.
Justice is when we accept that healing is different for everybody.
As one prosecutor put it today, our criminal justice system was built to do one thing: throw people in jail. Fatima Mawahid, a survivor herself, says our society should focus more on rehabilitating offenders and supporting survivors.
Do you think our society is moving in the right direction when it comes to criminal justice, when it comes to criminal justice reform, when it comes to listening and hearing survivors?
I think Virginia is not as progressive as other states. There's a lot of different states, even red states that are a little bit more progressive than Virginia.
In the room today, prosecutors from Arlington and Fairfax. Both have taken a lot of criticism for being too progressive, too soft on crime. Fairfax County Commonwealth's attorney Steve Descano says there are many factors in weighing how to prosecute an alleged offender.
The community has a voice in that, the victim has a voice in that, listening to police, and also listening to even the individual who offended. Because at the end of the day, as was brought up here, that individual is going to come back into our community.
95% of Virginia's inmates will one day reintegrate. These survivors say more should be done to support them and the survivors. One challenge, though, reduced federal funding.
We heard from a survivor in the room today that said, I think if those funds are cut, we'll see more women staying in abusive relationships because there is nowhere else to turn and there's not the kind of support one needs to leave a dangerous relationship.
Christine Soto DeBerry is the executive director of the Prosecutors Alliance, a group that helped organize this roundtable. She says states are trying to make up the funding gap, but eventually more pressure will need to be placed on elected leaders. Reporting in Northern Virginia, Drew Wilder, News 4.